Good morning. Today we will begin slot two. Um, we'll be doing slot two. The piece that we'll be doing today is quite simple. It's very hard little. I've made the left hand part simple as well, a bit simple this time. Next time it won't be as simple. But this time I made quite a bit simple just to make sure that all of you understand how this piece is played, so that it's easier for some of the younger kids to grasp it. And I'll be writing the notes here on the board as well. So the piece is quite simple. It's in just C major, which we discussed. The tonic, the key chord is C, G, and the scale is C major, one octave. And we've played other pieces in C major as well. We've played Happy Birthday before as well. Shona Shop was in C major. I might have transposed it up, but that's just to make it a bit harder, that it's easier for you to do harder pieces when, let's say, you want to play more in the future. And it's also a really good practice for both your left and your right hands. Coordination gets better as well. If you play slightly pieces that are slightly above your level, if I may say so. This piece is not as hard at all. It'll be quite simple. Right hand like revolves around a few keys only. The left hand only like two chords are there, just like variation between two chords. Just C major and then you have B, B, F, G. Just C major and B, F, G. So both of these chords will be sort of being interchanged. Will be interchanged throughout the piece, and that's what this piece is all about. It's quite simple. There's nothing to worry about. Um, I'll just write the notes here, or I'll just play the piece first. So you can play it like you could play it continuously using legato, or you could play it using staccato at some points of time. Like, so it depends on like how you want to play the piece, if I may say so. It's not really something that's set in stone. So you can play it depending on how you want it to be played, like how you like it. The notes are quite simple for the right hand. That's it, and there's nothing more. You can repeat this once more as well, and you can repeat it in a low volume in piano, which is used represented by P on the music score. Fun fact. And by doing so, and the main aim of this is to just sort of get the coordination right between both your hands, and just to make sure that, just make sure that your left hand isn't lagging behind in a lot of pieces, and a lot of scales, because that's a common problem among people who play the piano, and I have it. It's just that it's very hard to sort of keep it within control sometimes, but once you practice more and more, it gets really easy to keep it within control. So the left hand here is just two chords, like C major and B, F, G. So I'll just write the notes for the right hand. There's only one section. So quite a simple piece. And for the right hand, it's just E, D, C, D, E, F, D, 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 and then this part repeats C, D, E, 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 and then you have D, D, E, C. Sometimes, and it's quite simple. It's not that hard. Left hand as well. Both of the hands here are quite simple. You don't have to make your head too much about it. Just write one here. So C major, D, F, G, and C major again, C major again, C major. So this is the chord structure, and C major BFG. So these two chords, C major and this BFG chord, which we'll get to later on. It's a part of this C scale actually. And how do you play it? For the right hand, let me just show you on the piano slowly. So it's middle C, middle octave, and so there's a middle octave, and it starts on an E, E, D, C, D, E, E, E. There's D, 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 E, G, G, and then E, D, C, D, E, 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 D, D, E, D, C. And that's for the right hand part. It's quite simple. You can play it using a legato as well at some points and using staccato on the others. So if I were to accentuate those points, it would go like. That's how it would go for the right hand. For the left hand, on the other hand, C major and BFG, right? So just switching between these two chords. Just play them fast, and once you get the hang of playing these two chords, you can switch quite easily. So C major, B, F, G, C major, B, F, G, C major. So if I were to play them together, you can use your fifth or your fourth. I don't know, I use my fourth sometimes, but principally you should be using your fifth finger. So that's quite simple. Let me just, in case you're wondering about the notes as well, how do you switch from C major to B, F, G? It's quite simple. You have your C major chord, 5, 3, 1. That's the finger pattern for your C major. So it's 5, 3, and 1. Sometimes I use my fourth on C, but usually you don't use your fourth on C. So 5, 3, 1. And then to switch to B, F, G, you take your fifth finger and you move it down to B. And then your second finger is empty, so you can always use it on the F, right? So use that on the F, and your last your thumb finger, which is your first finger, is always already on G, right? It's not really moving around. So B, F, G is already just set there. C, E, G. Let the thumb be there. Just move your C down to a B, and your E up to an F. Then there's the G already. So like that, here. Just practice it a few times. With the right hand, you can do that as well. It's always good practice with both hands. And that is the piece. A few nuances if I were to talk about with the right hand. Let me just play it using one finger so that you see where the notes actually are. So E is it's middle E. You can kind of play it on any octave you want, but I'm playing it in the middle because it sounds the best. So E, D, C, D, E, 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 D, 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 E, G, G, E, D, C, D, E, 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 D, D, E, D, C. And that's how that piece goes for the right hand section. So we've covered both the left hand and the right hand. So you can always improvise in the piece. It's not that hard to make a few improvisations. I can't really think of anything right now. You can always improvise. You can add a few notes maybe here and there. You can make it a bit more like jazzy or anything. Once you're okay with the actual piece itself. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much the end of the piece. And it's not that hard. You can practice it. Once practice, you get the hang of it. So yeah, good luck to you and your practice. Make sure you practice well. Make sure you practice the scales before you practice any piece. The scale C major, tonic, minor, then we've done like F major, the one 7, we've done G major. So just practice all of those as well. Make sure you're up to date with your practice. And I'll see you next class next time as well. So see you around and make sure you practice well. Thank you.